Hello again, everybody. It's Scott.
And Melissa.
Welcome back to a very special version of RV Rolling with MJ. As we wrap up our long Michigan road trip, want to go over some of the things that we learned on our first big trip. I mean, this is 4 weeks. We're used to 2-3 days at the most. First time we've gone for almost a month on the road. So let's talk about it. What's the first thing you learned? It could be positive, it could be negative.
First thing I learned by being at the last night of our trip is to maybe slow down a little bit. Spending more time at certain places, or just putting in a place where it's just relaxing for a few days before moving on.
I learned, and this is a tough one, don't go to the upper peninsula of Michigan even at the end of May because it is freezing. I don't know if we got unlucky, but there were a couple of nights where we did the things we did only because we were there and we had to do it. But it was cold, and if you got to stay in your RV at a place that you've never been, that's no fun. You want to be outside sitting like this, enjoying a nice fire. You can even sit in a fire because it was just so cold. So maybe if you go up north, and especially from Florida, not that I'm from Florida originally, I'm from New York, so I should be a little bit more prepared for this stuff. But anyway, probably push it a few weeks before you start going up to northern Michigan.
I learned that you can look up places to stay on the fly. You don't have to book everything in advance. Especially since it was early, a lot of places were empty. So not that I liked every place we've been to, but we could have booked things as we go.
I learned that you can survive with your wife for 4 weeks in a confined spot. I mean, there are times where I'll admit it, I lost my temper. But that's what she signed up for.
No,
That's what you did.
okay.
There are times it's going to happen, but there's more good times than bad. So hopefully that will continue as we move forward in our journey.
Also, try not to drive too far between different places. Limited to 3 to 5 hours the most.
Now we're at a slight disadvantage because we're in southern Florida, the Fort Lauderdale area. So when we go on trips, and when we want to go on long trips, we want to get out of Florida. And to get out of Florida from Fort Lauderdale, 6 hours just to get out, to get into Georgia. So you're tempted to run the same thing going back. So we're now in Georgia. We have 10 hours to go tomorrow to get to Fort Lauderdale. I want to get home. I've seen Florida. I've been to Florida. I've been everywhere in Florida. So I'm going to make the journey. Probably shouldn't do it, but I want to get home. So that's the disadvantage of living down in Florida. Probably the one disadvantage, you're so far down there that to get out and about in the RV world, you got to travel a little bit. Every once in a while, it's good when you're on a long trip to get away from your RV. So we spent 2 nights in Mackinac Island, and it was like we were just on a little mini vacation within a vacation. And I thought that was good. It was good to get out of the routine of pulling into a site, hooking up and then cleaning up and living. We got to walk around, go to a hotel. So if there's times you can do that, whether it's an island or some city that you go to, if you can get into the city for a couple of days or into wherever, maybe that's a good thing.
Another thing is, this is something positive that I really like that I did, was before the trip I made 4 meals, and either at home, either in Instapot or crock pot or whatever, and then I froze it, and each meal made two. So a lot of times I didn't have to do a lot of cooking, and I just had to just reheat it. And with a trip like this, and going and seeing this, it made life so much easier. Not that I didn't cook, I still did cook, like on the Blackstone, but a lot of the stuff I didn't have to cook. So, and then other times we went out to dinner, so it wasn't a whole lot of cooking, which was great.
Another thing that I learned, and it's surprising to me, is I'm a big TV watcher, and I will say, because of all the activities that we did and the traveling we did, I guess partly because we were tired, the only time I watched TV was I think 3 or 4 nights where there was a Panther playoff game on. Other than that, I didn't watch TV at all, and that's very surprising. Now, partly is because the nights are the days are so long. Where we were in Michigan, it did not get dark until almost 10. So by the time we were kind of out, we got into the RV, it was almost time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Just do a little wrap up.
Before you knew it was like 10:30, and I was like, where'd the time go?
Yes, so there was no time to watch TV, but
I didn't miss it.
yeah, and I didn't miss it at all.
I have no idea what's going on in the world.
Yeah, we have no idea. I mean,
which is a good thing, I think. One thing also is another positive. I liked putting in harvest hosts in between certain things, which helped us, not have to spend as much money, and it was just nice, different experience. Like we went to a winery, we played golf in a golf course. The winery was amazing, so we went to some great different harvest hosts, and it just made a whole different experience. So I totally recommend harvest hosts and adding that to your itinerary for your long trip.
And I think that's about it. I mean, we did learn a lot from this trip, and as we continue to grow and learn, hoping our next trip is just as fun, but we'll keep you posted when that's going to happen. So until then, we will see you down the road.